Just some quick housekeeping before we begin. I'm going to record a few videos in here because I finally realized it's taken me a while. I know, I'm a slow learner, but the videos I record out there, they tend to get blown out because a lot of light is coming in from behind me. So I'm going to try some videos in here, see how it looks. Also, I'm recording now in 4K, which I didn't realize I could do. It's quite simple. But what that means is I can't add certain effects as I record, and it has to be done in post. And I don't know if you can tell, I'm not very good at editing. Whichever you prefer, let me know down below, and we'll see where we land. So anyways, welcome to episode 2 of Paper to Pixels. Have you guys noticed the typo in the opening song sequence thing? I threw away, or I deleted just for sake of space, the original files. So I have to just remake it all again, which is kind of a pain in the ass. So I'm just going to leave it there for now as like a little Easter egg. Anyway, this one is a remake of my old video, which I'll link down below, of me comparing Shogun the book to Shogun the TV show. And much like my old video, Shogun the TV show is just a pile of dog shit. So buckle up, tie up your obies, because I'm about to slice through this tokenistic, performative, fog-drenched farce of representation like a fucking katana through some tofu. The book is widely praised, critically praised for its intricate and nuanced portrayal of all the various aspects of Japanese culture, not to mention its relentless narrative momentum. Whereas the show, while critically acclaimed, clearly by people who want to be seen as critically acclaiming a show with nary a white actor in it, it tried so hard to be prestige, but what it ended up doing was just like trying to cover up all of that smell the fart acting.
You take this big pause where you look all intense, you know, like this. Okay.
And all that janky CGI with a fucking fog machine. Because seriously, there is so much fog. Anyway, welcome to Reading for Idiots, and I'm calling this From Masterpiece to Cosplay.
Cheers.
So one of the greatest strengths of the book, I think, one of the greatest strengths of the book that adds tension, a lot of tension, is how it handles emotional restraint and subtext. Everyone is wearing, basically, an emotional mask, and it's the eightfold fence, right? It's mentioned a bunch of times in the book. And in the TV show, an episode is even titled The Eightfold Fence. All the characters hide their true intentions behind layers of coded language and polite gestures and ritual. And this creates a sense of tension, constant tension throughout the book. Every interaction felt charged as I was reading it, just like a real sense that behind every bit of dialogue, there was a hidden meaning. And especially because the book is written from a stranger in a foreign land point of view, right? And we, the reader, sometimes we're in a privileged position and sometimes we're not. Like, as in, sometimes we're in on the dramatic irony. Like, we know what's happening, what the subtext is that the character doesn't know. And sometimes we're not. And it's this beautiful dance that James Clavell, like, expertly choreographs that it enhances the drama. It enhances the dramatic impact and that relentless momentum, relentless narrative momentum of the book. But the TV show, it largely removes this nuance. And look, I get it. It is a visual medium. TV is a visual medium. We need to be able to see things, but fuck man, come on. Like on the spectrum of respecting the intelligence of your audience and dumbing it the fuck down for the masses and creating some lowest common denominator garbage, on that spectrum, in my humble opinion, which is right, by the way, on that spectrum, Shogun clearly has an extra chromosome. I mean, the characters in the TV show are just overtly displaying their emotions and all of those subtle social dynamics and subtext that would have us guessing and second guessing. And while we're reading, the tension is rising and our anticipation, we're bated breath. All of that is just sapped from that flat screen. All of that is just replaced with overt expressions of, I am angry, I am sad, I have affection for you. It's dumb, man. So the story in the TV show, it just feels less psychologically layered. And the eightfold fence, that beautiful metaphor of the eightfold fence, is just bulldozed, and subtext is given over to conventional surface level storytelling, which I just found, frankly, boring and flat. From culture to cosplay. So, okay, despite James Clavell being a white man writing in the 70s, Shogun not only avoids that Orientalism trap, like effectively turning Japan into the mere backdrop for Western discovery. Shogun not only avoids that trap, but it presents a culture, a whole culture in its entirety as like a fully realized system. Like we are talking customs and politics, the hygiene habits, the religious beliefs, the attitudes to sex, everything. All of it is woven into every aspect of the story. It's in the characters. And it's not reductive. And it's not romanticized. And Clavell is, well, he's fucking uncompromising in how he presents the reality of Japan. It is accurate, it is authentic, it is objective as it can be, and it's presented in good faith. And because of this, critics have long praised James Clavell for the way he treats Japanese society with respect and how he treats it with respect and rigor, and rightly so, okay? The book is enlightening without feeling like a lecture. I felt like I learned something about Japan, and I'm half Japanese. You're in a world. I was in a world. I was totally immersed in it, and it didn't feel like I was reading about a world in a travel brochure. And I could feel how the TV show wanted that badge of authenticity. But the thing is, its approach was just anesthetized, because visually, all the cultural elements were present, but they just kind of felt curated. Like, oh, I'll put a kimono here, I'll put a height there, I'll put a this here, shit like that. It didn't feel lived in or real. And I don't know about you, but I felt like there was this self-conscious, look at how respectful we're being-ness about the TV show, all while it's peeking through the window at another culture, like some creep noticing all the nice mysteriousness and strangeness and foreignness and differences, and oh my god, they're so exotic. And I think it's because, and this really pissed me off about the show, but I think it's because instead of focusing on the stuff that really matters, the show just tried to go for scale, and it aimed for it aimed for spectacle, and it was like I could really feel how it was trying to manufacture that sense of epicness. But frankly, in doing that, in their panning out, all we got was a whole bunch of fog covering up the janky CGI green screen bullshit. Like, guys, Japan is just not that foggy. Why did they go macro when they could have gone micro? Imagine how different the show would have been if they, instead of zooming out and filling in the screen and covering up all that shitty CGI with fog, Japan's not just that, but Japan's not that foggy, right? Imagine they went micro instead, and we got these slow shots of the weave on a kimono, or the lacquer on a pair of chopsticks, or pottery, or the texture of the shoji, the paper windows, or the stone in a cobblestone path. All that shit is just so uniquely Japanese. It is. You see it and it is instantly recognizable as Japanese. Imagine how much more dramatic the TV show could have been, how much more character driven the TV show could have been had they just done that. Imagine if it was shot like White Lotus season 3, and instead we got this. This could be anywhere. The Sanitized Screen. James Clavell did not shy away from showing all the uncomfortable parts, all the messy parts of this world of 1600s Japan. Critics explicitly noted the book's willingness to show all sides of this culture, of this society, the honor and the brutality, the pleasure and the pain, and that openness and that rigor. It just gives the book a credibility. The Japan in the book is anathema to, it's diametrically opposed to our and the protagonist's Western Christian derived culture. Like, for example, sex is not a sacred act. In the book, it's presented as just like bodily maintenance, and modesty is more linked or closer to like humility. Like when you practice humility, you're being modest, kind of thing. And women, though of a different social rank, and that's quite explicit, and they're not quite treated as property, but they're a different social rank, but they are still treated with respect. And you can't really say the same in a Western culture. Like, how hypocritical is that, right? And seppuku, which is everywhere, the act of, yeeting yourself out of existence ritually, it's everywhere. Life is not sacred, right? And it is emotionally charged, as you'd expect. It's politically charged, and it is seen as an honorable act. The characters, they treat death, they face it with this kind of matter-of-fact elegance. There's no hand-holding, there's no mollycoddling, it's just, this is how things were. And where did that all go in the book? Like, the adaptation just sands off every edge. It sanitizes it for the Western audience. There's hardly a bath scene. The Japanese are obsessed with taking baths and sex. Like, it's a major plot device in the book, and it's just barely hinted at in the TV show. What are you doing to the book? Or what are you doing? This is like whitewashing. Because where the fuck did all the seppuku go? You know? If the Japanese were partial to lopsided purple hair, we would so cry racism. What have you done to our culture? This is not it. You threw everything out along with all of the stakes because what? Well, you tell me. What are you really doing here? Bad faith. The show amazingly, impressively takes a world where a man might disembowel himself at any moment to preserve his honor, and instead it gives us this whitewashed, very long, tedious perfume ad.
60% of the time, it works every time.
The TV critics are on crack, man. The book has been celebrated for decades as a rare historical novel that is immersive and culturally nuanced and compulsive and readable. And the book is not just popular, it's also respected. Because scholars have actually debated how Shogun treats social codes, and people have actually compared James Clavell's treatment of social codes to how Jane Austen did it, or how Leo Tolstoy did it. And we the readers, we're still, when we recommend it, we're still kind of like, you're gonna love it. But it's 1,200 pages. I mean, what the fuck were the critics smoking for the TV show? They called it a masterpiece. They called it a triumph. They called it, and this is a real quote, they called it a lush meditation of power and, get this, power and identity. Crack.
Not like a mean crack dealer, but like a, like a nice one. Just kind of friendly, like, hey, what's up, guys? You want some crack?
No, wait. So not only was all of that public recognition performative, in my humble opinion, which is right, by the way, in my humble opinion, it was done in bad faith, and it was a kind of signaling of virtue. The only and it's not even groundbreaking. The only kind of groundbreaking adjacent thing about the TV show is that it's mostly an Asian cast in a Western production, and it's not that groundbreaking because, well, Crazy Rich Asians did it first. But what most people are missing is that while you're seeing Asians on screen, behind the screen, it's the same people making the movie. It's just surface level representation. And frankly, if you're handing out awards for just surface level representation, to yourself, by the way, that's kind of patting yourself on the back. Yeah, it's pandering. It's a bit participation badgy, like, oh, here you go, well done. It's fucking condescending. It's almost insulting. And I'll say it again, if the Japanese were prone to lopsided purple hair, we'd say it's racist. These parasite shill critics for hire, born of the system and perpetuating it, I bet they just read the press release, which is just filled with all of these buzzwords, watched the trailer, pulled their fingers out of each other's butts, stuck them up in the air. Which way is the political wind blowing? And then they picked a side. That doesn't reward art. That's cowardly. That's it. My rant is over. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. If you couldn't tell, in this case, vehemently Paper, beats, pixels. In fact, it's almost obscene to be comparing Shogun the book and Shogun the TV show. Making this video pissed me off.
Like, share, subscribe.